welcome into the Denver Sports Podcast presented by Breckenridge Brewery, the best beer. Oh, that sound. It's
Holy
not
cow.
best beer and also the best seltzers. We've talked them up so much that when AJ goes to Canada, Z, his fiance, needs to try it. So he needs to bring some for her to try. And hopefully they don't disappoint, honestly. I'm kind of nervous.
That sounds like the start to a movie when AJ goes to Canada.
It's like the Friends titles. Which, speaking of Eric, fight me if you're going to bad talk Friends because it's amazing.
Can I tell you, I've seen every episode of Friends.
Same.
And it's
Same
the
here.
most basic, terrible show I've ever seen. You know, I don't know why I watched every episode of Friends. It's because I had a super basic girlfriend that would watch them all.
Call
I'll
me
never
basic.
forgive her.
I'm fine with that.
I think I am. I think that's what
I've
I'm
watched
doing.
Friends like probably fully through. Like how many times, Ryan? Like 15?
No. 50.
Full from like episode 1 to like end of season 10.
50.
But I'm
At
coming
least.
I'm coming from a place of knowing. Like I could go up. Like I know all the references. I know about the lobster.
I mean, what the rest of that second round y'all had? Just throw that whole thing in the bin.
What are you talking? Have you ever seen Fleabag?
That was like the
Here we
fourth
go.
round.
Okay, anyways, the DNVR Nuggets guys did like a TV show draft. Go check that out. It's on our YouTube channel and on podcast form, and they talk about it. We clearly had a lot of disagreements in the company with the list, but I think I would have voted Harrison to win. That would have gotten my vote. But okay,
There was no Seinfeld either, right? Like
No,
nobody would make
Seinfeld
those.
went in second.
It was another second. Seinfeld, The Office, and Friends all went in the second round. Just throw that round
Yeah.
in the bin.
Simpsons,
Absolute
yes.
garbage.
Simpsons not going number one overall draft pick. It's just wrong all the way
I
around.
got the Simpsons though.
in the third round. Awful.
we're gonna disagree on many things today. This show thing is one of them. But as you guys can tell from the title and a lot of people already commenting, worst uniforms in Denver sports history is what we are talking about. We've got Eric, D-Line, and Blaze Hunter, designers for DNVR, graphic designers, creators of the brand entirely. They are here to talk about their opinion and their design opinion. And then we've got Rudo, Ryan, and me to just talk like looks wise, like this is cool, this is bad.
I have no expertise. I'm just good at having a strong opinion and acting like I can defend it.
I've been told most of my jersey takes are strictly bad, so
it's gonna. You guys might get upset with us, but you know what? It's okay. It's all in fun. So let's get started. We are going to start with you, Eric.
Oh boy.
What is actually maybe we'll get to the smart people later. Ryan,
Nice.
what is the worst?
I 100% thought it was going to be.
Honestly, it could have gone to any of you. But
Yeah.
all right, Ryan, what is the worst what's the worst uniform in Denver sports history in your opinion?
So, like, to me, this isn't really even that close. It's the brown and yellow original Broncos jerseys. The story behind these, though, is pretty funny. So you get this new owner in here, and they start the franchise, and they didn't have time or the money to get brand new jerseys, so they got these like used jerseys from some other team. And this is what they got here. They're the only team ever to wear vertically striped socks in the NFL, so they have that going for them. Now you look at these, and like obviously this was a reiteration of it as a throwback, and like they're kind of fun. Like I thought that was hilarious when they wore them that year. I loved that. Like Brandon Marshall would like twist them up his leg so it looked like a candy cane. But I mean, in all reality,
so bad.
These were so bad that when they officially announced that they were going to change them, and they announced the new uniforms, they had a big party at the stadium and burned these jerseys at midfield. And
way.
everyone celebrated and partied around them burning these jerseys because, again, as Eric or Blaze can define in much better words than I, like your team's uniforms become a part of like your city's identity. So everyone hated these with a passion. And was very happy when they got rid of them.
all right.
Yes.
The only saving grace about this jersey is that you can wear the top and not worry while eating a hot dog with mustard on it.
Yeah. You should have made the
You could have also
pants
said something
red.
else with that, with the bottoms.
When it's overtime and you're a little unsteady below the belt, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What?
We have Devan in the comments saying that he actually likes those vertical stripes and all, and then he said it must be my Wyoming background as to why I like them. That that would make sense.
They are
Yeah, you
Wyoming.
have Stockholm syndrome, Devin.
And then
you've
Mike
grown
asked-
up with this, and so you think it's normal, but those are the two worst colors that you can combine. That is what we
Devin.
like to call pee poo poo.
Okay.
Isn't that
Mike
Pittsburgh?
said, didn't they get these from the University of Wyoming?
Yeah. So no, there's multiple different like stories out there as to where exactly they came from, but I think the more widely accepted one is the other comment there that they got them from like a college bowl game. That was like they did special uniforms for the bowl game or whatever, and then they didn't use them afterwards. So they're like, yeah, send those over this way. I wish Mace was here because he has, he knows everything. But I think there was like a story about like they didn't have like the right size for certain players, and it was just all a big mess.
That is crazy. We've got Caitlin in the comments saying my brother was so excited when he got one for Christmas that year.
Yeah,
I believe it. Some people are saying there are way uglier that they wouldn't vote that as the worst, but I just think like comparing the current Broncos jersey or even that throwback jersey that everyone loves and wants them to go back to this, it's like, oh my God, yeah, that's terrible compared to what we have now, which is great.
Yeah, people like really like things that are weird and like off, and so a lot of times if you get something that is just remarkable one way or the other, it like sticks in your brain and like feels fun. But if that's like your primary jersey, like like you're losing a game by 30 points and you have to like look at your stupid team wearing stripy socks or whatever, like it's not a good look. That's not fun. Like you don't want to look stupid while you're getting blown out. So that's a problem. But they're fun. They're like one off. Okay, fun times.
And actually, obviously this came up because of the All-Star uniform stuff, but the NFL also announced today that teams can now wear throwback helmets. So for the longest time now, actually pretty much since that season when they wore those throwback uniforms, they've had this rule in the NFL where you're only allowed to have one helmet for the whole season. They branded it as like a safety thing, which no one really understands. But basically, so even when the Broncos would do their Color Rush uniforms, they would just take the stickers off their existing helmets and change them. Now teams are going to be able to execute like actual real throwback jerseys again. I don't think the Broncos will go back to those ones, but it's also fitting that today's the day that we found out like the Buccaneers are going to get to use their like whatever that guy's name is, Bucko Bruce, something like that.
Stabby man.
Yes.
So that'll be cool to see the NFL bring back some old school stuff.
Like Ryan said, today's topic is brought to us because the MLB announced their All-Star uniforms for 2021, and they are rough. And then we also heard about the helmets, and so it was just why not talk about some jerseys. And now we've got people in the comments here saying I'm all here for the jersey smoke. So
the MLB announced white t-shirts. Come on, those aren't jerseys.
Well, I will say, I'm blanking on their Twitter handle name, but I did see someone make a good point. These jerseys were probably already designed for Atlanta. It doesn't mean that they're not as bad, but like they didn't have time to design one with Colorado, like the mountains, whatever, using a Colorado theme because of production, getting them in, all of that stuff.
Can we bring this up and like really break these bastards down?
I want to get into the floral print and everything like that.
Yeah,
as well.
the edge of the cuffs and stuff. Yeah, it's bad.
So really quick, just to kind of wrap a bow on those brown and yellows and the origin of them, there really isn't a clear story. Apparently, they came from a defunct organization in Arizona. Then some other people said it came from a defunct bowl game.
Wow.
And
The
then
word defunct is important when discussing these jerseys.
the coach suggested that the uniforms came from the Arizona semi-pro team, the Rattlers. So again, there's not exactly a definitive history of where the hell those things came from.
I believe the team also folded because of the jerseys. That's why they are defunct. Because of those jerseys.
Absolutely.
I've got a lot of people in the comments saying that they think yellow just doesn't work with a lot of stuff, but gold does. And so I totally agree with that, because black and yellow, like the Buffs uniform, the gold is what like makes them stand out. Black and yellow, like the Steelers, I'm not the biggest fan of. Like Michigan makes it work. However, blue and gold is chef's kiss. Good is what Aaron said, and I totally agree with that. Like the gold really helps with some of these uniforms. Like imagine the Rams green and yellow, like the Packers. Like the gold helps with CSU's. Like it looks better with that.
It mutes it a little bit.
Well,
right?
yeah, yellow is just too vibrant a color to be the main color of anything that you're wearing.
Yep.
It's like makes you see like a pretty daffodil or some sort of beautiful flower out there. It's just like not the right vibe.
It's an accent color, right?
Yes, absolutely. Like, yes, navy and yellow. The Nuggets have fallen into some pitfalls when they made yellow the primary color of a jersey.
Those Kenneth Fareed yellow skylines.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, before we dive into that, Rudo, what is, in your opinion, the Avs' worst uniform?
I mean, I think this is the worst jersey in Colorado history, not just the Avs, but the 2019, I guess. Was it 2020? I forget when exactly the game
19.
happened. It was 19. It's the Stadium Series jersey. And like,
look at that tiny little jersey.
So,
there's
a lot of story behind this too, because obviously the jersey is hideous. But one, if you look at the logo when they put it on things like the warm-up jersey or a hat or things like that, where they didn't stretch it across the entire shirt, it looks great. It looks perfectly fine. The problem is they did this. Yeah, exactly. And it's just, supposedly they were like trying to mimic like what skiers used to wear back in the day, the like spandex style stretched out stuff.
Good thing to model yourself after, by the way.
And it just didn't work. And it wasn't only that. If you remember back then, so these jerseys leaked like 2 or 3 months early, and it was just like a picture of a dude wearing one in like a closet.
Yeah, I remember that.
And everyone was like, "Oh, that's not the jersey. There's no way.
No way.
Possibly."
It always is the leak.
I put that in production, by the way, if you want to pull it up. That terrible photo.
Yeah,
the
some
original
dude like cut off at the neck because we're just like wearing this jersey in a closet.
Exquisitely unflattering.
But so it leaks, and no one thinks.
The only word you can describe is dumpy or frumpy. Yeah.
Frumpy.
It's kind of like he's like trying to make it that way. The way he's like positioned, like they're positioned, it just makes it look worse.
Squatted down almost.
A lot of it's just the equipment, and then like not wearing shin guards. Like it's all like disproportionate, and then it's just offset by this horrible jersey with 2-tone burgundy too.
Yeah,
as well.
I mean when like. On here, it looks better than what that picture was.
Gabe
like,
can make anything look good.
Well, let's be honest there. Let's go back to that picture. Like, if you look at Gabe there, like, I mean, the colors are off, right? Like, the hair color's not right.
Oh God,
the burgundy is not right.
Yeah.
Gotta be all head blades, don't we?
but yeah, so they leaked it, and because it leaked so much, the NHL like kind of just decided to never really do an announcement about them. And so like months go by and everyone's like, are they going to announce the actual jerseys? No. Okay. I guess it's just that terrible jersey. That's what they're going with. All right.
I legitimately think even if they just pulled the A down 4 inches,
it'd be way better.
They would have gone from like terrible to just okay.
Yeah. Well, it's pointing right at his face too. It's a really bad look. Like everything's just like it's throwing you all over the place.
And then if they would have moved it down, then he would have been Alvin and the Chipmunks. Like this is a bad, like horribly conceived and
Also-
executed terribly.
So like the bottom of the A is supposed to look like the mountains, right? And then there's just a mountain stacked on
Yeah.
top of the mountains.
Yeah, it's like a balanced rock on top of the peak.
We have someone in the comments saying, Aaron says the Avs Stadium Series jersey is just as good as the event itself.
Ooh.
Hashtag
Ooh.
NHL Firefest.
Hell
That's
yeah.
very
Throwback
true.
to Firefest.
Not good. Not good vibes in anyone's mind about that event. So
Poor
Everyone
guy.
that I've talked to that went to it was just like had the greatest stories ever of like just getting screwed out of money left and right too.
Except for
That's why
people
when
who are from Colorado Springs who defend it just
I mean,
because they feel like they have to.
and look at how if they just like took the A and made it small and put it in the middle of the jersey, look at how much better that looks.
Yeah, the practice.
That's
version.
way better. Yeah.
It would have been fine if they just went with like a more minimal design, but
Yeah. Minimal, always better in my opinion.
They went for it and it did not work.
But whenever I think of Avs outdoor game now, thankfully I just think of Lake Tahoe and those beautiful Nordique jerseys, and I'm just like, oh, what a wonderful event! That was amazing, and the Avs won.
Well,
So I now associate.
Wait a minute. The
Still
event,
wasn't a wonderful event.
Hold on.
the event
Oh, they-
hold on. After the first period.
The ice melted and they had to go and play later, but still, it was
the
great.
game will resume at midnight Eastern is the only thing I remember from that game.
Was it midnight Eastern or midnight local?
No, it was
No, midnight
Eastern.
Eastern.
Okay.
Yeah.
We went live after the announcement because we weren't going to go live after the game at that point. We got a super chat here from Mike saying the event logo has the Cathedral A
Yeah.
with the Jet King through it. Never understood why that wasn't the primary logo.
Yeah. Missed
Yeah.
opportunity.
Jets
What
flying.
was worse, the Avs jersey or the Kings silver buckets that night?
I love the chrome domes. I think they're
Oh.
dope.
No.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan.
It's like
Okay,
big
Rudo-
G.I. Joe vibes.
Hold on. Rudo also wanted to bring up another
Yeah,
jersey that
I
he doesn't
decided
like.
I wanted to fight with chat today. The blueberry is the
Oh,
most
yeah.
overrated jersey in Colorado. This
What?
thing
I
is
agree.
so bad.
This
Are
thing
they
is highly
weird?
rated.
Yes. A
I
lot of
think-
Avs fans love this jersey.
I like the burgundy ones.
The original.
These I don't like.
The original burgundy ones are fine. These
They're
are
cool.
awful. The blue is a terrible color to have. This color of blue. That's why they went with the much darker shade with their current third. This color of
Yes.
blue sucks as the primary.
Yeah.
The Colorado diagonal thing is like the most ripped off jersey in the history of time. Every team ever has done this logo. It's just lazy. I don't even like the stripes on the arms. It's just,
To me, the worst part is like the oval shaped thing that goes around the shoulders.
the shoulder pad things they
Yeah.
got going on too. I've never liked the shoestring collar either.
Oh, I like those. I think that's cool.
I don't
It's
mind those.
overdone. It's overdone.
I mean, yeah, but it makes
because
me think like hockey jersey,
No,
and I
I
know
know.
that that's the point of it.
I'm saying like this jersey in general is over designed. Like Reebok was the one that did these jerseys, and
Ugh.
Reebok has a terrible design department. Like there's too many lines. There's too many ideas going on here.
Yep.
Danny, are you in the comments? Are you saying that the current third suck? Because I will fight you on that.
There's
That's a really bad take.
there's a small sect of Avs fans that think the current thirds are bad, and I don't understand it.
They're so cool.
They're
Oh
like
my
very close to a perfect uniform.
God. Okay, before we get into the designers' takes, I gotta tell you guys about DraftKings Sportsbook. It is my favorite sportsbook, and pretty much everyone here at DMVR's favorite sportsbook, and they're
Pretty
America's top-rated sportsbook. It's easy to navigate. They've got a lot of great player props, odds boosts, all the things to keep you interested and keep you betting even when your teams are not playing, which obviously we are going through sadness with the Avs and the Nuggets gone. Oh, Danny is fighting with me about the current thirds. Wow. He says I'll die on this hill that the current thirds suck. Wow.
Just as long as he's dead.
Someone said you'll die alone. They should be used more. Okay, back to DraftKings. Ryan, you guys did DMVR Bets Daily. If you haven't noticed, DMVR Bets Daily went back to just one podcast or one show instead of the two-leg podcast because, we don't have much to talk about because there's not as many Denver sports playing and there's so much early soccer. So they wanted to make sure they got you guys in with some great picks early in the day. So, Ryan, what is your top pick for today?
Lots of good ones, but a lot of people are calling me the Copa America Whisperer. That's pretty much everyone in the country is saying that. And so I'm giving out the tie in Chile versus Paraguay.
Wow.
We're giving out the tie at plus 195.
I love it. Wow. I can't.
That is one of the most ugly things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, but not only
talking about
to
my
bet on
Copa
this.
America pick?
Yeah, I can't wait to watch this scintillating tie.
It's gonna be great. Here's the best part about it. I didn't even know this when I gave the pick out. That's kind of the genius of my Copa America picks. But Dre told me that if they tie, both teams advance to the next round. So they're incentivized to tie.
How does that work?
Because they each get a point.
Oh,
then
okay.
I think that takes Ecuador out of it if they end up tying.
I hope that they don't actually. Neither team tries to win. They just come out to half field and they just hug each other for the whole game, and then they both
just
get to
kick
move
the
on.
Ball in and everyone sits down. And
they just kick it back and forth. Whee!
There was a Lightning Flyers game like in the early 2000s that basically like it was like at the height of the trap, and I think the score was even. And
Lightning just refused to play it out. Yeah.
Yeah, the Lightning just sat back and was like, "Your move," and they just sat back there with the puck, and it like they had to blow the whistle and just tell them like, "You got to move the puck." So then they like started skating in circles around it. I don't know. It was crazy. You should look it up. It's a crazy game.
That's hilarious.
Okay, got it. Got to use the code DNVR at DraftKings Sportsbook to get in on some of these great bets right now, or continuing what DraftKings has been doing the last few weeks. You can bet on any basketball team of your choice to win their next game. And if you do, you can claim $100 in free credits. That's promo code DNVR for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. Colorado only. New customers only. Wagers paid out in site credits. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Don't forget to drink Strava Craft Coffee as well, another one of our amazing sponsors. I had to settle with tea today instead of the Strava Craft Coffee cold brew because we ran out, so need to order some of that. And the best way to do that is through their subscription service, because that way you guarantee that you don't run out of coffee. Ryan and I are moving, and so don't want to send stuff to our current place when we're about to move. So that is why I'm out of Strava Craft Coffee, but you shouldn't ever be out of Strava Craft Coffee.
Yeah.
And look at you. You're positively honkless.
I really needed some. After the DNVR Golf League the other day, I really needed some, all right? You leave 3 balls and 9 holes, you need some Strava.
You only lost 3? I think I lost 4 or 5. Ugh. Common Grounds, if you're looking for a challenge of a course, Common Grounds is a bit of a challenge right now because they are just letting their what's it called? Native rust grow, and it is rough. Eric almost had an allergic reaction out there. So
I fully had an allergic reaction. I was covered in hives, and yet I still was able to come in and sink a few clutch putts.
Yeah, he shot 41 with hives.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
They actually make him stronger.
That's what I'm going to say.
Adrenaline from the EpiPen.
So you hear it from us all the time. Strava Craft Coffee is something that we run off of. Same with Breck Brew, but you need the coffee. And Strava is CBD infused decaf coffee. They have decaf as well as regular. They have espresso. They have everything that espresso. Sorry, I pronounced it wrong. They have everything that you could dream of when it comes to coffee lovers, and you could get 25% off your first purchase when you use the code DNVR25 at checkout. The DNVR Golf League is so much fun, guys. If you guys were debating it, totally reach out. I think we might have a few more spots left for a few more of the courses that we're playing at. It's so much fun. It's just one of many great things that we do at DNVR to try and be with the community, hang out, talk sports. Rudo was with one of our good friends, Eddie, on the course, talking hockey, talking Avs, all that good stuff. So definitely join the DNVR and go to thednvr.com to subscribe. You get a free shirt. You get the DNVR Golf League. You get DNVR Discord. You get it all. Literally everything. So go do that now. Now we can go and move on.
Any more ad reads you want to get to?
It's not my fault. I am doing my job. I'm not trying to get fined, as a few people said in the comments.
We can split these up next time.
Do you wanna take some?
No, then you don't have to talk for like 10 minutes straight.
I would love that because it's exhausting, but I still have to host the show, so I have to keep talking.
All right, keep it rolling.
It's in my contract not to do ad reads. Just
Oh, lucky you. But honestly, our partners make it easy to do ads reads because we're just literally talking straight from like how we feel about the products. So
Sure.
I appreciate that instead of having to like bullshit or lie. But okay. Blaze. We'll wait for Rudo last, or for Eric last. Blaze, what is the worst uniform in Denver sports history in your opinion?
Do you have the picture of it? I posted it into the Slack there.
This is a Denver sports.
This is a Denver sports soccer team that lasted
Oh.
for 1 year
Wait,
I know
hold
what
on.
this is.
in
The picture-
1978.
The picture that she's gonna bring up isn't actually a real picture. It's a reenactment.
This is a reenactment. They never wore them during, but this is the Rapids wearing the 1978 jerseys for the Denver Caribou, which I love everything about these.
Got to
Like,
zoom in on the fringe.
when Allie was talking to me, I thought she said best uniforms, and that's why I brought this one up,
Yeah,
because
that was confusing.
the tassels, like, it makes it so.
And there's a lot of really good decisions here.
If you were listening on the podcast version of this, go look this up, please.
Was it
My
the-
God.
Was it the Colorado Caribou?
Oh,
That
sorry,
would
did I
make
say
more
Denver?
sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is the Colorado Caribou. Denver Caribou makes no sense at all.
Like,
What actually
Even
is
just the
great about
Colorado Caribou.
what actually is great about this photo is the Rapids tweeted this out on April Fool's Day and said like they were bringing these back, and a lot of people fell for it.
Just people in the comments are going crazy. What the hell? Fringe, LMAO. Wow. Oh my gosh. Fringe and nude color. I totally
Yeah.
agree, guys. This
Yeah.
is rough.
if you told
Look at the
me-
collars too. The collars are hot.
Yeah,
Those
the
are
collars
definitely
are-
70s collars.
They made the
They're putting the
collar
collar in
thin.
Colorado.
Oh,
Dad
Boo.
joke.
If you told me that these were the uniforms for waiters and waitresses at Casa Bonita, I
Yes.
believe you.
or
Like,
Hooters.
Oh my
What's
God.
up,
Eric,
Hooters?
if these were Hooters, Eric, anything that's that flesh color just wouldn't be there.
Yeah, it would just actually be flesh.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
it's the,
redirect the conversation,
It's
gentlemen.
the opposite of Hooters. It's called Snakes.
Stop laughing so much at him. It just encourages him.
That's a great name, though.
Oh my God. Are we about to open a restaurant called Snakes?
I'm gonna go make sure
No.
that we register that. So just in case,
No,
just in case we want to
someone
open
else
it up.
take it. Someone else take it. Okay. Do you have any other comments on jerseys? Not on restaurant attire.
No, I mean, like, I think Rudo hit it pretty well. That I think all the Av Stadium jerseys are pretty bad. Even the Colorado flag one. I know I'm gonna get killed for that, but like, it's awful.
it's just a shame that it was in a way. Like they could have done cool stuff with the colors, but it's
Yeah.
just white.
Also, I have to give that one credit. It got in time before the Colorado C was played out. So like that was still like, I mean, like completely played out in my opinion. Like it was like a couple years after that where it was like, okay, every single team of every single anything doesn't need the Colorado flag on it.
Are you talking about this one? This one's cool.
I still think it's
This
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't like it.
I mean, it's everything is really in your face. Those numbers look, maybe it's just the position of the jersey, but that still looks cool to me.
Yeah, I mean, I
It's-
think it's a good one. It's not great, but it's good.
The colors on the sleeves are kind of weird.
I think,
Terrible.
I mean, they were trying to be like, hey, we're outside, so everything needs to
Yeah.
be like really large
These
so that
people
you
are
can
going to
see
sit
it.
on the moon, so we need to make sure they can tell who it is.
Yeah.
It's probably the same reason they made the A so big.
Yep.
Okay. Eric, your thoughts now.
On just anything?
No, absolutely not.
so
I
I
will
put-
not give you that platform. That is what your Twitter account is
That is
for.
what my Twitter. Yeah. No one needs that except for that. Maybe they do. Go ahead and follow that. So in the Slack, I put
Yeah, which one?
Nuggets. Let's
Okay.
do the yellow one first, man. This atrocity. This is like fairly recent, and it's like yet another attempt to deconstruct and recreate the rainbow that everybody loves so much. But this is like they wholly deconstructed it. They put the stripes that would normally go through the city on the sides for some strange reason. And again, yellow is the primary color for a jersey. Not a great move. When these first came out, I didn't feel like super offended by them. I didn't hate them. Like as time has gone on and I see them pop up every now and again, like every time I see them, I wince. Like, oh God, what is that? Like, what were they thinking? They're so ugly, man. Like everything about it sucks. They really wedged the Nuggets type like way up into the cutout of the city there, and then it's just a thematic nightmare. It like just doesn't make any sense.
Eric, do you think the designer was like, check this out, I made the mountains like go perfectly with the cut of the jersey? That's pretty sweet, isn't it?
Let's go back. Bring it back. Let me see.
So there was actually 2 versions of this one, right?
Maybe. No. So this is the second year. There was a year before this that is more you see on Kenneth Farid all the time that has the multicolor blocks going up and down the side, which is still not great, but it's like better than this version.
Wow, I don't remember this one at all.
Yeah, because that's just it. Like these terrible jerseys just evaporate into the ether, and then you don't ever think about them again until it's a show like this.
Still, like to me, like when I think of the Nuggets, I think of blue and yellow, and so like this jersey, it doesn't look good, but I still don't like the red and orange jerseys that the Nuggets had this year.
The difference being is that the red ones that everybody hates, the much maligned Flatiron red jerseys from this year, at least are like on their own in a vacuum attractive. Like there's colors that work well together.
But like this is a Nuggets. That isn't. That's like
this is old shitty Nuggets. This is baby blue and yellow Nuggets. This is the Nuggets that like never worked, never should have been. It's an abomination against the city itself. And again, a fully yellow jersey, dressing an adult man in a full yellow suit. Like, what are we doing?
Why?
It's really jarring to me to see a picture of Jamal and Tori wearing these. Like that makes it seem
not that long ago.
Right. I'm like, this feels like it's from a past lifetime.
Actually, that looks better on a person a little bit. The version you have there looks like there's a jersey underneath the yellow, and someone like MS painted a yellow square onto the middle of the jersey. Like
it's so bad, dude. So bad. But then also the other bad one that people may fight me on, but I absolutely don't care. I'm ready for it. I want the smoke. Is the shiny iteration, the shiny version of the baby blues, made popular by players such as Carmelo Anthony and Chauncey Billups, seen here in this photo.
That defined a Nuggets era, didn't it?
Yes.
I think the shiny ones are the best ones.
Oh,
I think those are cool.
So terrible. They look like they just look like they look slippery. They look like they're made out of ice or something, which is when you're wearing a tank top is like a weird thing to go together. I just can't. I hate these jerseys. I hate everything about them. When I see people wearing them, I'm like, you poor sorry sucker. Like, don't you have a little bit more self-esteem? You couldn't pick any jersey.
I bet you they're pretty comfortable, right? Like they've got to be 1,000 thread count. Like if you're talking bed sheets about them.
Yeah, dude. Egyptian cotton.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Only the finest.
One of my buddies had one of these, and I like held it. But I will say they were heavy. They were like legitimately heavy compared to the new jerseys that are like feathers.
Not breathable at all.
Activate later. Nike is trying to sell to me. They're pretty and they look great in black and they look great in blue, but red is not Nuggets. Like the yellow, as bad as it is, it's still Nuggets.
It technically is. It's the third color. This is Flatiron's red out of their 4.
Utah.
But we killed these the second they came out. Like nobody, these Nuggets these jerseys have no champions. But again, they're not like just ugly. They're not just ugly. Like these are just ugly. Like the yellow one we looked at, the silken pajama ones, as Drew says, like it's just like a bizarre effect to have on a basketball court is shiny gentlemen running back and forth.
I mean, when they sweat, they're all shiny.
I would like to look at this one that I just found when I was searching Nuggets jerseys.
I'll never take it back, Sam. You know where to find me. DNVR bar.
I don't think was that worn ever.
No, this is a mix.
But still,
This
Oh,
is
what?
the ABA.
The Denver cookie.
Yeah, this is the ABA
What?
version. It's the oldest version of the Nuggets, with this weird, bizarre gold nugget thing with the 3 holes in it.
It looks like a cookie with a bite out of it.
It does with 2 little nibbles.
Yes,
Yeah,
it really
yeah.
does. But somebody has recolored that to be at the time the current Nuggets colors. But what a disaster!
I would love for someone to also take that Pixac and actually make it a reality and see how well that thing works.
Yeah, it's real MC Escher.
Yeah.
That's a banana.
Oh my
Well,
God.
if you use a pickaxe like that, these are the type of gold nuggets that you uncover. They're weird, misshapen cookies.
So yeah, they did wear these, which those were solid.
Explain, Ryan, for the podcast listeners.
I mean, it's just the same thing, but it was the actual like colors of the Nuggets at that time, which was dark blue and red.
Shout out to the one person who watches that also thinks that's a rune pickaxe. I know no one on this show will know what that means, but that's okay.
Speaking of blue and
Okay.
yellow.
RuneScape, even worse.
Oh man,
Speaking of blue and yellow, moving on. The Buffs were blue and yellow at one point.
That's a terrible color of blue.
This just looks like wannabe UCLA, like you said,
Totally
Ryan, before we
UCLA.
started.
Yeah, and then they have the classic problem, which has been a problem for any team that ever wears gold, which is the helmets are gold, the
But the
pants
jersey.
are yellow, and the numbers are a whole different color. Like, it just doesn't. It's not CU.
Look at
So they
Go to
actually
that,
had these for. They actually had these for 4 years. I didn't realize.
Go to that
1981 to
Thumbs
1985.
up. Man, that is so brutal.
that is not.
What
good
about a
color.
buffalo screams powder blue?
God. Thankfully, that was pretty short lived. But yeah, I have no idea what they were thinking. Like, nothing
do.
about it makes sense.
I do. There was a lot of acid on the hill during those years.
They hadn't thought about that, Ryan.
Yeah.
1981 on the hill must have been one hell of a time.
Okay.
Sometimes when we go to the Grateful Dead shows or the Dead and Company shows at Folsom during the summer, it really does feel like you went into a
It
time
is
machine
wild.
to like 1979.
Speaking of it, I'm sad this year that it's at what's it called?
Fiddlers.
Fiddlers, because it being at CU, listening to music, like a concert at Folsom Field really is so cool. If you ever have the opportunity to go, anyone listening or anyone in the chat, I highly recommend it. It is so fun. Like, look, the Flatirons and everything in the background is just really great environment. But yes, the Dead and Co.
Pasta Jays, right?
The Dead and Co. atmosphere is one that I had never experienced. We were like walking around. I was like, Ryan, why are there so many balloons? And Ryan's like, do not accept one of them. Like, what is happening? But yeah, that was fun. Before we finish up with Rockies talk, because I know there's a lot of people in the comments wanting to talk about Rockies jerseys, uniforms. Chevalier Mortgage is a great place. They're going to help you out so much when you're trying to refinance or if you're looking to buy a house.
Can you
It's a
get this
really-
image off the screen, please? The Converse cleats too; those are special.
Oh,
Don't do it.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, Chevalier Mortgage, Michael and Virginia are some of our favorite people. They are true DNVR, part of the fam. They love Denver sports, and they really want to help out the DNVR fam. So call them if you're looking to refinance your home or if you're looking to buy a home. They're going to help you out. Visit them at dnvrmortgage.com and enter to win a free DNVR shirt or hat. When you do, most importantly, get signed up with a free consultation to discuss all of your options. Michael Chevalier, NMLS 1931006, Virginia Chevalier, NMLS 1910631. Okay. I see a lot of people saying 1999 Rockies uniform.
Well, this was just a one-off thing, but
Is that
Eric,
the Larry Walker one that you have?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I'll pull
Eric
that
just
back,
dropped
yep.
it. Yeah.
Is that the like short
Sure.
cutout sleeve
Mhm,
ones?
yeah.
Yeah.
Going back to clock jerseys as they were known.
Yeah.
No, it was turned forward. The
Yeah, it
clock.
was supposed to be like
turn
the
forward.
future of jerseys.
Wow,
yeah.
the future is bleak.
Little did they know the future of the Rockies was even worse.
Oh.
That was before 2007.
It was. But I think it was actually supposed to be what, like, the idea was what are uniforms going to look like in 2020? Like, I think that was actually.
And guess who jumped to buy one as soon as they possibly could?
That would be me.
Yep.
So we do have one of these.
We do. It's Larry Walker. He's a Hall of Famer.
This is where the Avs got the inspiration for their outdoor jersey.
It is a little bit like that.
That's so true.
Just needed a hockey puck that's like way too big on the side of the jersey.
Also on the back, the name runs
Let me see if I can.
parallel to the numbers.
Oh yeah. They had that during the All-Star 99 had those too. They were so dumb.
And the thing about these is that in this photo, you don't really get the full impact of those stupid short sleeves that like stick up.
Yes, you can't decide what it is. Is it a cutoff or not?
It's like it totally is like a half cut off, half not.
I will admit, so I did buy the jersey. That's the hardest thing about this is like I don't know how to wear it. Like, do you wear long sleeves under it, 3/4 sleeves under it, short sleeves under it, no sleeves under it?
Show the guns.
Yeah, no.
Well,
the way you
the
wear
guns
it
need some chiseling.
But the way you wear it is you
he's
put it on
wearing
and
a
you put
long
a
sleeve.
sweater over top of it.
I hate
no.
How-
Let the guns come out.
How did they think wearing pinstriped pants was a good thing to do with this jersey? Also,
They should have gone black pants with
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
They
my
just didn't
God.
want to make new pants.
Dude, that would have been so rough, dude. If you're a fully black clad guy, you would look like you were from the Blade Runner playing baseball or something.
I mean, like,
That was the point of the jerseys, though.
I know. Spring forward until society has fallen.
They really. You know what would have made these a lot better if they would have had a collar that you could have popped. Like it would have just it would have just set it off.
I
What
mean,
is
should
this?
I?
This is current Rockies
Yeah.
uniform.
Okay, yeah.
My baseball jersey take is that pinstripes are the most overdone, outplayed jersey ever. They're so bad and dumb. And
Well,
unless
also, just like the Rockies have no business having pinstripes.
you- yeah,
Like the Yankees have been doing it for however many years. Like, okay, whatever. That's tradition at this point. Like,
I will say that the general strategy that the Rockies took when they branded their team is that they wanted to make it seem like they had been around for a long time. So they weren't like the Marlins. The Marlins are like, hey, we're teal. We have a stupid fish. Like, isn't this fun? They came in at the same time. And the Rockies were like, okay, we're going to keep it classic. Like, we're going to
That's
use a
actually true.
serif font. And yeah, like now it's like, if you asked when the Rockies came to be with their first jersey, you'd be like, if you didn't know, you'd be like, I don't know, 1947. You're like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
It's
Like,
true. They're very
the
classic. They're very
CR
clean.
logo is like really clean.
yeah, the
Yes.
logo's great.
Yeah,
They're
I mean,
very, very
there's,
clean.
I mean, there's no personality to it, but like oftentimes personality is not your friend over a period of time. Think about hanging out with me for like an entire day.
Brutal.
Where's Thin?
Brutal.
Wow.
And-
I mean, nothing
Sam.
says classy too, like Dinger.
And they really haven't had much alteration to their jersey. Like,
No, they haven't had to.
like they're all just similar versions of the same jersey. Like the one I pulled up, and then
Yeah.
there's
Look at the
another
tiny
one
little
that
feet
popped
on
up.
this, by the way. Look at those little baby feet.
I mean,
Some thick
I will
calves,
say
too.
I'm glad they've embraced the purple as like a primary color on at least
Yeah.
alternates, because forever it was just like the jersey is white or black.
Yeah.
With I guess gray was in there too, but
Caitlin said, saw one of those in the team shop at Coors the other night, kind of wanted it. Well, Ryan has one and they're pretty cool, but like he said, it's just hard to style. So just prep with that
What-
before you buy it, Caitlin.
It also, again, it's like one of these like strange outlier jerseys that are fun to wear for a time. You show up,
Yeah.
but like if that was like your jersey, like you would just be miserable. You put
I
those
just
on.
like
Arca-
wearing clothes that just get me attention. So you know, like whenever anyone sees that, they can't not say something. And now we have a conversation going.
That's so you're wearing stuff to get noticed. I love
Yeah,
it.
100%. Yep.
Yeah. So
I
is
try
that
to
thing
buy the
like,
weirdest like throwback Colorado sports gear possible, just because it catches people's eyes.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
whoa.
Ryan. Well, Ryan and I have a competition on how many like dope throwback gear we can find. We have a lot at our house, and I love it because people are like, "Oh, that's awesome! Like that's so cool." Ryan literally is. I'm like, "Look at how ugly this is." He's like, "Buy
Give me
it, yes." He has some of the weirdest buff shirts with like the buffalo being like a demon. Like it's so weird.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Did
Is
you
that
They
Rockies?
were really in their bag in the 90s.
Is that Rockies jersey really loud to wear? It seems like it's like a trash can, just like, or a trash bag, just like.
Oh, no.
No?
Sound is not a problem, but it is.
Alright.
It's loud without needing to make any sound.
It's
All
like
right.
Evan's tracksuit. He says he can't wear it because it's too loud.
Well,
Oh, we lost
we,
Allie.
we lost the host.
We're seriously a rudderless ship at this point.
Holy smokes! What are we doing? What do you guys want to talk about? Oh, hey, what's up, Allie?
I just yeeted myself off my own podcast. Sorry about that, guys. What were you talking about? Drew or Eric was trying to throw you guys off the rails of more than you already were.
I wasn't doing
No,
anything.
You left the
Let's-
show and it took 15 seconds for us to just lose it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Oh
like,
God.
Okay, we're gonna tie it full circle. Like I mentioned, one of the reasons we talked about this today is because the Rockies All-Star, or not the Rockies, the MLB All-Star uniform came out. And again, I'm sorry this is a more visual. I hope we're trying to describe it to you as much as we can for podcast listeners. But you could definitely like look some of these jerseys up, or
gotta
as
put 'em
Denver
in the
sports
post.
fans, you know them. But here is the All-Star uniform for today.
you know,
for
like,
this
what
year.
did we do to deserve all this red? First the Nuggets, now these.
Yeah. Ew.
So, I mean, you kind of hit on this earlier, Allie. We as soon as we saw these and just as little sense as they make, we got immediately into our
Slack.
Well, no, we got into our Sherlock Holmes mode.
Ugh.
Like, what exactly has happened here? Because there's no way they made all of these choices of their own volition. And the thing that we came down to, like, will you bring the Navy one up, the Navy jersey?
Did you send that to me too?
Yeah, I put it in the
Oh.
Slack.
Oh, that one I like that one better.
Yeah, but bring this up. Like, this to me is like really cracks the case.
Hold on. Takes me a second.
Yeah, hold on.
God, I hate him so much.
So
Hmm.
what we're looking at is very clearly the color scheme of the baseball team, the Atlanta Braves. The Atlanta Braves, as you remember, we're going to host the All-Star game until certain things happen. They got to take it away from them. Clearly, what has happened here is that they had already made up all of these jerseys and they had them, and they were like, "Oh my God, we have to make these work now somehow." So they just like slapped purple on the side. They didn't even make an attempt on these goddamn jerseys. I mean, like the purple is only visible on the sleeve, and it's barely visible at all. They also have a strange Tommy Bahama vibe with this like this like floral undershirt thing.
What is
Yeah.
that?
So
Looks good.
yeah, and then you look at it like on the hat where they are now truly trying to marry red and purple, which is just an unholy marriage to begin with. There's so much going on. None of it is cohesive. It's very clearly like the designers were given a terrible assignment where they had to make do with something that was not being used for its original intent, but then they made horrible decisions.
Because
thereafter.
if you see the hat over here, they've got the mountains like
put
the
that on there.
Colorado side. Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe this was easier. I think something that people definitely aren't taking into account is how much like COVID has had an effect on getting supplies. Like we're looking for furniture and literally things are like 6 to 8 weeks out because there's no way of getting things in, and all of this is just like in every aspect with like all types of goods. So I totally do believe that like they just had already designed this and they couldn't go back, so they were like, all right, let's see where we can add a little mountain in there to make it like kind of Colorado, but we're just gonna have to deal with it. It was just too short notice.
We developed a secondary theory, which I actually think is stronger than being able to get them in time, which is that the one making the decision on whether or not to scrap the jerseys, start over, or to make do with what they had is the commissioner of the MLB, Rob Manfred,
Oh.
who at his core is a businessman, does not seem to hold any regard for the game of baseball, certainly doesn't care about trying to honor the game on its great day. And so I can imagine him looking at just the bottom line of like, oh my God, how much money are we going to lose out on if we have to redo these? Like, nope, make them work. Just make them work.
I can see them.
No one in their right mind could have thought, because every logo in baseball is just a letter mark, right? Like, so who was like, let's put their logos on top of letters?
That's what I don't understand. Why, like, who would ever think of overlapping letters as a design?
Well, this
With
was
such
like
sharp contrasts of red and purple.
this is like super 90s also, this like design aesthetic. But the problem here also is that they're trying to make them, like I said earlier, like they're trying to make them handsome. Like the jerseys are not handsome, but that was their intent. Instead of trying to make them like baseball jerseys,
Yeah.
like this little like 2-button thing, Henley top, and like you throw it on. It's
well,
got
the floral definitely proves, I feel like the biggest to that point is like they're trying to make it so that you don't have to wear it for just baseball. Like you can rock this anytime.
At the beach.
Beaches of Colorado. Dude, when you look at this, when you look at these two together, like that's a bad looking outfit together, and they were designed to go together. Like
the hat and the shirt.
What is the black hat doing there?
Yeah, it's like it's not like poor Colorado fans where you like if you wanted to support the Rockies and the Nuggets, you found yourself walking around with purple, baby blue, and yellow, and none of it was your fault. Like these were designed theoretically to go together, and they are completely mismatched.
Adam makes a good point in the comments. He said, when I look at that, I see a soccer jersey. I agree. I can definitely see a soccer jersey in this.
It doesn't look like anything that was ever supposed to be worn by anyone ever. I will say the one thing that I actually like about it, which I didn't even notice until Eric pointed it out, I kind of like the 2-button idea for like a baseball uniform. I think that could be a cool thing. It's just every other single thing about this is terrible.
The problem that you're describing is that they're introducing new ideas, a jersey design you've never seen before,
altogether,
or the All-Star game, which is supposed to be a way to honor baseball, the history of baseball. Baseball is a game. You don't come out with some ridiculous, like new, futuristic, handsome jersey concept.
Also, like the
But this is the only time that they like really come up with something like
the
different.
All-Star game should be one step away from shirts versus skins, basically.
Bad.
Well, and
to honor the game.
But the other thing that you're seeing here, that's a departure from the past too, is like it used to be where you'd have, the division across the front, right? Or the conference, excuse me, and then like the actual like logo would be like on the shoulder, like the team would be on the shoulder. And now that they're going to actually play in these jerseys and not just their like regular jerseys, they're trying to like make up for it. And the execution, like we've already talked about, is just it's
abysmal, bro.
It's awful.
An execution is in order. I agree. No, but like going back to what Allie was saying about like couches, like me and you trying to find a couch is not the same as Major League Baseball trying to find like materials for uniforms. They could have gotten around the time constraint. Like I tweeted this morning, Eric could have had a better design than this ready by lunchtime today.
By the end of the show.
But what about printing it and getting it like ready for sale? I agree with Eric that they had already designed this, so they weren't going to waste the money for that.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm mad.
That's where I'm at too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that's a joke. Also, Eric, you said like the star thing looks like a Columbine. I'm not even giving them credit for doing that.
I don't think it was intentional, but it's like kind of an interesting little element. They definitely don't know what a Columbine is. They don't know anything about Colorado. These Nike's designers, they didn't take anything into consideration other than
except the Malins.
But they had already designed. The Nike designers did not design the logo for the All-Star game. They designed the uniforms, which were based off of a completely different aesthetic. And now they were just like, what if we just like put it on there? And they're like, okay, what? It looks bad. They're like, we don't care. Just do it.
Like the red and purple.
It's true. There's people saying they think Nike and Nike designers would have the means to produce the better jerseys. So it's just bad overall, and I can't imagine a lot of people buying this. Like we talked about, Is it actually $400?
It
I thought
costs
Rudo was being.
$400.
No, yeah, it's actually $400.
I thought Rudo was being.
$400.
No, yeah, it's actually $400.
I thought Rudo was just like being dramatic. That's real. Why would you ever
$3.99.
sell something for $400
Well,
like
you
this?
wouldn't sell them. You would put them for sale.
No, RK Jr. will be buying this jersey in
Oh,
20, 25 years.
So
like-
beautiful.
Don't encourage that name,
It's like,
please.
Dad, it's so 2020.
It'll be RKJ.
You're
Yes.
killing me. My goodness. Well, this is a good topic. Hockey uniforms aren't even $400. Yep, that's crazy, Mike.
It's like they don't want to see them on the streets.
Yeah,
They wanted to
really.
ensure that these are buried the second the game
We
is
can't go back, but we have to make sure nobody buys
Yeah.
one.
They're like, one hat, $9,000. We just have to sell one, guys.
Oh my goodness. Like I said, if you're listening to the podcast version of this and you haven't seen some of these images, we'll try and include them in the post, but definitely go Google them if you aren't looking at the dnvr.com website. I'll get a hat, is what Sasha said. The hat's okay. The jersey is just so
Sasha,
bad.
I will tell you, there's a pro tip. There is a version of these hats in the store where they have turned the logo purple. It's not red, and it's not nearly as
Oh, okay.
jarring, but it
Well,
still
that's
does
way
have like
better.
the star and the star, which is a lot, but much better than this version.
Yeah.
Fair.
Okay, well, what a great episode. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I'm glad to have more of like an actual expert opinion on these things rather than us just kind of talking about our own thoughts, because we always all have different. Did y'all touch on the sky blue Buffs jersey? Yes, Michael. We talked about it all. But yeah, thanks for joining us, guys, and we will see you next week. Have a wonderful weekend. Don't forget to drink some Breck Brews. It's hot out. Going to play golf. Breck Brews all the way. Breck Brew seltzers, they're the best. We'll talk to you guys later. Comment? Okay. I was just reading last comments. But everyone's pieced out. I'm like, we had some comments in there. Hold on. I wanted to read what the people had to say. Sorry. Okay.
Put us out of our misery.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, this podcast is great. And it's not miserable.
It's not, just the jerseys are.
Okay. Bye.